Second. Maybe that's the problem. Stacy?
Let's wait for the statement for you.
All right, here we go.
We good? All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Call the meeting of the Public Infrastructure and Improvements Committee to order. Notice this meeting was posted on July the 16th. Item number one is discussion and possible action on the approval of minutes for July 6th.
Motion to approve minutes.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item two, Charles, is discussion and possible action on landscaping improvements for the courthouse and the annex.
No updates and no action required at this time.
Okay, seeing no action necessary. Three, discussion of possible action on an update for capital projects specific to the TIF 2.
No action.
Okay, no action. Item four, discussion of possible action on the TIF 2 and TIF 8 budgets.
The city's in possession of our request for reimbursement on the roof. We sent that to them earlier this week.
Thank you, Aaron.
I had a meeting with the TIF committee, the city's TIF committee last week. The meeting went very well. They unanimously supported a recommendation for another $5 million out of TIF. I've got another meeting to a smaller group in September. And if that goes well, then the city council would ratify it 1st of November. So we could potentially have a new set of projects this fall.
Which TIF would that come out of? I'm
TIF 2.
Okay.
2, you
Yeah.
said?
And just for reminder, the projects asked for on that request were front entrance, security.
A lot of security projects, the
HCB.
elevators for this building and the ICB.
Okay.
Yes.
And Stacy, in your discussions with them, they were aware that some of these projects were already ongoing, correct?
Yeah, they knew I'd started them, yes. They were aware of that.
And they seemed amenable to even reimbursing us on those costs. Did we cross
Yes,
that bridge?
Particularly the ICB. I think there's a unanimous downtown idea that it's kind of an eyesore.
Okay.
Tell me, need an extra $1 million now that we've seen the brick.
All right. Any other questions for Stacy? If not, motion to receive.
Second.
So moved.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Okay. 5, discuss possible action on the ongoing space utilization plan for the county annex.
You want to take that one?
It's a button.
We were moving right along until Keith showed up, right?
Yeah. Will you so note in the
telling you.
record, please?
Human ring delay.
That's right. Better? We're working through some purchasing issues. We want to make sure that we adhere to all the guidelines, rules, and regulations. We had a lengthy meeting yesterday to work out some details. I think we have a plan. We'll go out, in short, hard bid for labor, for materials, for labor and materials in order to make the best choices and purchases possible. But that's going to create kind of a timeline in the beginning. I think we'll get better at this as we move forward.
Will that be from here forward on every project and everything that we bid?
It would be my hope and expectation that we meet or exceed any kind of a standard that is set for us by the state auditor, purchasing, or DA Civil. So
And Keith, what is the anticipated time to go out? You said shortly. What are we looking at?
I think our first hurdle is to develop specifications and scopes specifically enough in order to give prospective bidders a good idea as to what we're trying to do and to accomplish, and so that we get good bids when we get them.
So what's the timeframe on that?
Just as quick as we can. I can't give you any kind of a timeline on. We're diligent.
Motion to receive report.
Second?
Motion and second to receive, all in favor?
Aye.
6, discuss possible action on the XXX stabilization project.
I don't have a slideshow for you this time, as I did last time, but they are back up and going again. The river is down to 4 foot deep, so they could actually cross it again. They've made some progress this week, and maybe another slideshow in a couple of weeks.
Is there a motion to receive?
So moved.
I'll
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7, discuss possible action on the Canadian River project near Wilshire Bridge.
Got off to a really good start on that project last week. Worked out the kind of the rhythm of the crew. We were trying to go 9.5 feet deep with the trench. It kept caving on us, so we raised it to 7.5 feet with 2 feet up out of the ground. Worked really well. The trench held. So they've gotten at least 1,000 ton of rock in as of yesterday, and moving well. As long as they can continue to get materials and the rain stays away, I think that project will end up being completed ahead of schedule.
Yep, hopefully so. And on that 9.5 versus the 7.5, our expert was on site and concurred that
He was.
that it would still perform as designed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Motion to
Comments?
receive report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 8, discuss possible action on the capital improvements list.
No changes.
Okay, no action. 9, discussion possible action regarding establishing a policy to sell unused county land pursuant to to 19 OS 342.
Yeah, if you'll recall, we sold some yesterday up around the District 3 yard. It ended up being pretty successful, but there were a lot of questions. The statute is good. It's a little bit broad, so there's some details that aren't there. And I think we have a resolution that the commissioners passed in 2017 that kind of adds on to the statute, but still doesn't address, what form can the deposit be in, for example. So we had some people write checks, we had some people give cash, cashier's checks, different things. So you want to leave it that broad, or do you want to narrow it? I think that's what this discussion is leading towards.
Why would we limit it?
I was just asked to put this on for discussion.
I think the issue, Miles, was one of the individuals had attempted several times to get some information, wanted to put down a cash deposit, and there was kind of no one knew for certain whether or not that was permissible. At the end of the day, I believe we heard yesterday there was a cash deposit. So did we want to memorialize that we would take, certified check, cashier's check, cash, that's all fine, or leave it to memory that we'll take all forms of deposit? Because this went through 4 or 5 or 6 different hands. I mean, and since we did it yesterday, I'm fine leaving it the way it is, unless,
Yeah, I don't think we take enough myself. I think we probably ought to take people's wire transfers, credit cards, cows.
The clerk's office was very uncomfortable taking the cash. The treasurer's office, I think, is used to it because they have the surplus property deal every year.
but in
Yeah.
terms of taking the deposit, how did that work? Fill me in on the roles of those 2 respective offices so I can understand.
The clerk's office just had never dealt with that before, and that was a lot of cash, and they didn't want to be responsible for it.
Dealt with it in terms of opening up the bid or the person coming down and saying, I'm placing a deposit here?
Yeah, the latter. So we went to the treasurer's office, we had the cash counted by their cash machine and got a ticket on it so that we knew exactly how much was there.
So it wasn't a problem.
It ended up not being a problem, but we involved an office that's not in the statute.
Okay.
And then the individual will come back and get his deposit at the treasurer's office?
I think that's what happened. Chantel walked him up and he recounted the cash and he got it back, right? Because he was not successful.
So the question is, do we want to line all that out or just give ourselves flexibility, give the county flexibility when potentially new forms of currency could be utilized?
Yeah, such as Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Venmo or whatever they call that. It's
Yes. I think listing.
PayPal?
I mean, you know as well as I do that if we list something, we're going to be limited by interpretation as to whatever is listed.
Right.
Unless we say something in our,
Yeah, well, we just wanted to have the discussion because it, I think, threw everybody for a loop on the cash aspect, but since we did it successfully, the depositor got the money back, I think we're fine. Everyone here understands cash is a permissible. Okay.
last time I checked, we couldn't actually reject cash for a transaction, but.
What-
I think
So
that's against
what's the
federal law.
pleasure of the group? Take no action, strike the item?
I'll make a motion to strike it.
Okay, I'll make a motion, or second that motion to strike. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Citizens' participation, anyone? Board comments, Charles?
No comment.
Miles?
No, thank you.
None here, new business? Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
and there's a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
I mean, I recall correctly, we were going to get us a Bitcoin machine here for a little while, and
I remember
we
that.
could just do our deposits soon. Parking garage? Did you know there's one in Penn Square?
I never go to Penn Square.
Right, I mean. Oh, we actually have to wait 2 minutes.
There we go.
For the next 2 minutes, our county engineer will lead us in a rendition of The Gambler.
We got 2 minutes.
And Stacy, go. Somewhere in the darkness, the gambler he broke even. Yeah, no. You might go to the city, because that would probably be the budget that you would need. That's probably more appropriate.
No wind holding.
That's all right. All right.
10:15, I'll call the meeting of the PBA Advisory Committee to order. Notice of meeting was posted on July the 16th. Item 1, discussion possible action on the minutes of July 6th.
Motion to approve minutes.
Second.
Motion second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 2, is discussion possible action regarding the ICB exterior envelope project.
We have some noise in the alley today.
Motion to receive report.
Second.
Anything else that you'd like to tell us about the noise in the alley today?
No?
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Then, when do we anticipate having results?
We should have some formal results, I'd say, within a week.
And is that from both of our experts, or?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. All right. There was a motion and a second to receive the update. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3, discuss possible action regarding repair and placement of the roof and the HVAC at the election board ACOG building.
Nothing new there.
Okay, no action on 3. 4, discuss possible action to receive an update on the Kraus property.
Nothing new there.
No action. 5, discuss possible action to receive an update on the Lincoln property.
The G in ACOG is back on the building.
Gee, I'm so happy.
Oh, very well played, Miles. All right, there's a motion to receive that.
Second.
Second.
Update.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 6, discuss possible action on an update for the ICB building.
The only thing new here is we have 2 tenants on the first floor of the Investors Capital building that are wanting to downsize, and we've looked for other locations for them. They want to remain in the building. But it brings up perhaps the question of something being done in total on the first floor. If you'd like to do something different with that, demolition, rebuild, perhaps repurpose, it might be a good time to consider anything you'd like to do there.
Were these 2 tenants both on the first floor?
Yes.
Have we spoken with the remaining tenants, which would be 2, if I'm correct?
I think that's right.
And spoke with them about moving?
No. With no clear direction,
Yeah.
I think it's premature.
No, I just know where the issue,
Does the rate
Arose last
differentiate
time.
between the ground floor and the upper floors? Is there any difference in the rate we charge?
No, the square footage price is the same.
do we have space for the 2 individuals that will remain to go upstairs?
We'd have to look at that and see. I'm sure we could accommodate them in some way. I don't have the square footage figures at my fingertips right now. And again, they might not want those spaces. 2 of the spaces on the first floor that are being vacated, have already had some work done. And we're going to have to replace carpet, paint, and do some things in the offices where these folks are to be relocated. So there's some maintenance issues there.
I will at least throw this out. We have a new sheriff, and I think that now is the time to revisit securing that building. So, and that doesn't necessarily need to wait on tenants to vacate, but that is something that I do think that I would like to see us do.
Okay, I'll reach out to the sheriff again.
And then, I don't know, has any other entities or people, what
Sure.
kind of calling are you getting regarding availability of space in that building?
Very few at this point.
Okay.
But sorry, Joe,
No, go right ahead.
I'm sure you were going the same place. As we move forward with our renovation on the outside, we're obviously going to create some sort of buzz. So it would be nice if our renovation on the inside matched our outside, instead of
Well,
being stuck in
all it would take,
admin.
if the outside looks great and someone walks into the lobby or even looks at the entrances, that's a no-starter for me.
Yep.
So it may be time to begin.
Okay. Maybe at the next meeting, Keith, we probably all have them someplace, but if you could give us a configuration of the first floor, kind of.
I'd like to visit with the sheriff again to see if maybe the ideas haven't changed,
think
so
that
we
would
have
be good.
I'm sure.
a fresh look.
Under Sheriff Anderson, Sheriff Johnson. Yeah.
The, secondarily, you and I met and walked through an area over there behind community service or community service and that whole
On
area.
that fifth floor,
Yeah, are we any closer to being able to open that up to space grants people out a little bit?
if that's the direction Grant wants to go, and I think he does, we can move that way.
So you're aware, what I'm talking about is on the north side of the building, there's actually a hallway that is walled off between what would be Terry McDaniel's office all the way down to the northeast corner. That hallway runs the length there. There's already office space in there. It's already built. We'd literally just be punching a hole in the wall, framing it up for a hallway, and then we could actually, there are items in those offices. One of them is clearly nothing but a bunch of trash. One of them is
Clothing storage,
somebody's files.
yeah.
I think those were Grant's files, is what he said.
It would be nice if we're going to do anything up there at all, it would be nice to get rid of the paneling, the wood framing, all of the mousetrap kinds of hallways and small offices, demo the ceiling. We can do some of this in-house, most of this in-house, I might say, and address the HVAC the same way we did on the third and fourth floors.
Would any of that work that you're talking about, other than maybe punching a hole in a wall and inserting a door frame, require the space to be vacated so that the work could?
I think if you wanted something as little as doorways closed off or opened up, I don't think they'd have to be
What
vacated.
about what you were talking about in terms of ripping out walls and paneling, et
That would
cetera?
require an empty space. That would be best.
Which you would have the ability to do, hypothetically, on that north wall, because it's already empty, except for
Files and the clothing.
files and junk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could actually shift, start in one area, shift.
I think the first step here would be maybe to talk to Grant and see what he would like
I think that's wise.
in a configuration.
Speaking with Grant, I know he needs the space. In that northeast corner, everybody's on top of each other. And of course, as his workload continues to increase, we're putting more and more people in a very confined space that makes individuals nervous, especially when they're bringing in clients and there's not a really escape route or anything of the sort, so.
Yeah. Why don't we have Grant weigh in on this?
Sure.
Kind of, I mean, if we're looking at renovating anything beyond punching a doorway, then get his thoughts.
I'll get a
on
plan
layout,
from
and then-
engineering and take it up there to him so he can pencil in what he might like to have.
It sounds like we might have some flex space on one temporarily,
Sure.
so,
True story.
along with some security. Yeah, okay.
Motion to receive report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that was ICB. 7 is an update on the Metro parking garages.
We continue to attract contract parkers, a few at a time, a handful at a time, but our occupancy is creeping up a little bit. Over the past weekend, Weatherby Electric installed new software updates to the operating system. And so had a little bug or two, but everything is updated. We're back and rolling.
All right. Anything
Motion to
else?
receive report.
That's all.
Okay. Motion second to receive. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, citizens' participation. Board comments. Miles?
No, thank you.
None here. Charles?
No comment.
New business.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Monday, it smells bad down here. Okay. It's not like a specific day, just at some point during the week, it's,
I only say it because, I mean, it smells like that a lot, but whenever I came through, it was like, I mean, just a standing. What I'm assuming is not